Happy Monday, everyone. This is Martha with Nature Niche, and this week I want to share another lovely native shrub, Meadowsweet. The Latin name is Spirea alba, and I covered the only other native Spirea in Michigan, a steeplebush, Spirea tomentosa, way back on Mondays with Martha number 11. So if you want to see a compare and contrast of those species, check out that past post. Meadowsweet can be found across the lower and upper peninsula of Michigan. It has a coefficient of conservatism of 4, which is average for the state. So you can find it everywhere from pretty high quality sites to somewhat disturbed sites. As far as habitat goes, you will find it along wet shores, marshes. We're along a Great Lakes marsh here on Lake Huron, but also sedge meadows, tamarack swamps, peatlands, stream edges, interdunal swales, moist forest edges, and shallow soils over rock. You may think you found it in a pretty dry place, but usually those sites are periodically flooded. So you may find them in ditches, wet prairies, and old lake beds as well. This species prefers low, wet, open places with wet to moist soils, and they like fairly abundant organic matter in their soils. It will tolerate temporary standing water, but it is relatively shade intolerant, so something you'd want to plant in full sun or only very light shade. It is an excellent plant for using in sunny rain gardens or along pond or stream edges. It gets 2 to 6 feet tall and has stiff, upright, sparsely branched stems. It will spread to form clones and has beautiful white flowers. So I do carry this and should have this for my last plant sale of the year at the end of August. As far as identification goes, it is a low shrub with few branches. The twigs are pretty slender and yellow-brown in color. The leaves are alternate, so they come off the stem in an alternating pattern. And they are simple and can be up to 3 inches long by 3/4 inches wide. They have acutely pointed tips, and the margins are sharply serrate, which is a fancy way of saying sharply toothed. And you can see those teeth go over halfway down the leaf margin. So a helpful character to tell it apart from its sister species, Spirea tomentosa. So Spirea alba has pretty thin, glabrous, which means non-hairy leaves. They are medium green above and pale green below, and pretty delicate, pretty thin, and the inflorescence of this species is pyramid shaped. So it's a open panicle, which means the inflorescence branches more than twice, and the flower heads themselves can get 2 to 6 inches long, and they have numerous 1/4 inch wide white flowers. So here's a closer look at what the flowers look like. They are beautiful, white, with 5 petals, 5 sepals, 5 pistils, and numerous 20 or more stamens. So that's very common of things. This plant is in the rose family, the Rosaceae, and it flowers in July and August. The fruit are an aggregate of follicles, usually in 5s. Let me show you that. So follicles open up on one side to reveal, in this case, 2 to 5 seeds. And I think they form a cute little star shape. And those are persistent throughout the winter. And as far as wildlife value goes, this shrub, the flowers produce nectar and pollen. So they attract bumblebees, many types of small native bees, honeybees, wasps, ants, flies, small butterflies, and beetles. It is the host plant for spring azure caterpillars, a pretty blue little spring butterfly that the caterpillars like to feed on the flowers and the buds. And the foliage feeds a specialist leaf beetle, as well as many other things, plant bugs, aphids, numerous moth larvae. And then rough grouse, and in other parts of the country, greater prairie chicken, eat the leaves, the buds, and the seeds. And this shrub is also browsed by white-tailed deer, and muskrats will eat the woody stems and root systems. It also provides important protective cover and nesting habitat for several song and game birds like indigo buntings, grasshopper sparrows, song sparrows, red-winged blackbirds, American woodcock, and wild turkeys. So look for this beautiful wetland shrub on your next wetland walk outside, or consider planting them in moist microsites on your own property. Thanks for listening.